I'm Realtor Deb Tomorrow, and this is At Home in Bloomington, brought to you by Karan Ruoff Home Mortgage. We profile the people, places, and resources that make Bloomington, Bloomington, and help you live your best life. At Home in Bloomington. Hello, and welcome to another edition of At Home in Bloomington. I am your host, Realtor Deb Tomorrow, joined as always by the lovely Miss Karan Ruoff, best damn lender in the state of Indiana. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good. I'm going to preface this by saying that we are supposedly having some thunderstorms rolling in.
Supposedly.
And we did an episode with, I think it was with Abby Gitlitz from the Bloomington Creative Glass Center last year, in the midst of tornado sirens and thunderstorms and flash floods. So we're not new to this. We can handle it. We're not afraid. But, if we cut out or the power goes zonky,
or
then you'll know
lightning strike and ice cream.
Right.
We'll know what's going on.
Then you'll know. So It's just not part of the show. It's like our Halloween edition or something. So this is I'm excited about today's show. It's highlighting something that even if you don't live in Bloomington anymore, you used to live in Bloomington, or you miss Bloomington, it's still something you can take advantage of. There's a lot of times we do shows and it's a go to this place and go do that. Mm-hmm. And while this is it's a different kind of experience that you can bring to you.
Okay.
So that's nice. So I want you to put this in the back of your head too for gift giving and things like that. I think that, someone who's left Bloomington or someone who really loves Bloomington, but more than that, I want to talk about, I don't want the show to end up sounding like an infomercial, because these people do have a product that they sell. Okay. And it's a great product. It's a product I use. I'm sounding like an infomercial, right? You have no clue, do you?
I still have no clue.
But really what, to me, it's a story about a local family building a business, literally surviving fire and tornadoes to grow and succeed for almost 50 years.
Okay.
That's a pretty compelling story.
Yeah.
That's the story I really want to tell today. So hopefully our guests will be on board with sharing that story as well as all the great products that they sell too. Because I feel like there's some inspiration that we should take away from this and some perseverance. I think that's sort of my theme this year. Yeah. You just have to persevere sometimes.
Absolutely, to keep your business up and going, moving
or
forward.
Life in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to put one foot in front of the other when it seems like it's impossible. And I have a feeling that this family's come up against that. And I want people to feel some pride in our community members in Bloomington. It's, to me, I always tell people it's been a great town. I'm not from here. I've lived here for a total of 20-ish years in my life, which is, most of my life. Oh, not quite, but I'm not half yet. But I feel like town has always been really welcoming to me and provided lots of inspiration through successful people and people who are making a difference. And so that's kind of where I'm hoping to go from. Any ideas? Do you want to take a stab?
No clue.
Not a thing?
No.
Well, this is Megan. You know her first name.
Yes.
Last name is Dillman.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell?
It does.
And what does it ring a bell for?
Dillman Farm.
There you go. Yes. Dillman Farm Organization. So Megan is the marketing director. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I assume you're a family member of Dillman Farm.
Yes, I married into the family.
Okay, wonderful. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with Dillman Farm, just give us the quick, what is it? What do you do?
So we are an all-natural food brand. We are well known for our apple butter preserves, but we make some awesome mustards, salsas, barbecue sauces, and now pasta sauces.
Yeah, I saw. Is that really new, the pasta sauce?
Yes, really new.
Okay.
Like the last 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to talk at some point, hopefully maybe you can give some insight as to how these new products are developed, because when you look at your product line, it's huge.
It is.
And I think people just think apple butter.
Right.
And it is enormous. So I do want to talk about that, but I want to start with the history, because family owned and operated since 1970, which I will say is older than either Karan or myself. By a little. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the history.
Okay, so really Dillman Farm started before 1970, honestly, but it was my husband's grandfather.
Okay.
His name was Carl Dillman. Carl and Sue Dillman. Basically, it's a garage story. Carl was a milkman for Johnson's Creamery.
Okay.
And he was delivering down in Brown County. And him and Sue were part owners of a restaurant down in Brown County. And they were making apple butter and selling it and serving it with biscuits. But it wasn't jarred yet. Mm-hmm. So some of the shops, they loved this restaurant's apple butter. So they were like, ooh, can you can this? And Carl was like, yeah. It's one of those things where say yes, figure it out later.
Sure.
Basically.
Right.
And so he figured out how to start canning it, heating it to where it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been in glass jars.
Yeah.
So then on his milk route, he started distributing it to the shops around town.
In Brown County.
Yep.
So I know, I remember from my college days, the Nashville House, which just closed down last year, I think. But they were big with the fried biscuits and apple butter. So I think that was a Brown County thing that's maybe found its way a little bit over here into Bloomington.
Yes.
But if you're new to the area, I don't know if there's any place to get fried biscuits and apple butter in Brown County anymore. Do you have any?
Not that I know of.
Since the Nashville House closed down.
Which is such a bummer because apple butter and biscuits is just about one of the best.
Well, here's my funny story. It's not funny. It's just a story. When I graduated college, I was actually working the day of graduation. Like I didn't go to the graduation ceremony or anything. But my roommate, her parents came and took her to the Nashville House for dinner, and they brought me back fried biscuits and apple butter as my graduation celebration.
I've never had
nice.
You've never had it?
I know, shocking, right?
I mean, I have to say I don't have it regularly because I don't know where else you get it except Nashville House. But I wonder if the inn at Brown County State Park has it.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we might have to put that down as one of our missions to have to go and find.
I know. So I'm looking over at Rachel. Rachel, take note. This is going to be a field trip.
Please note. Yep. So that was prior to 1970 that all of that was happening.
Yes. So basically, what happened was demand was growing for the apple butter, and they decided, let's start doing this. There was a bakery in Indy, and I don't know what the name of it was, but they asked Carl if he could make preserves. And I think they requested either peach or strawberry. And he was like, yeah, figure it out later.
Right. I love that. I love that.
So he developed a recipe, simple, strawberries, sugar. pectin, and that was it. And they started selling the preserves, and the line just expanded from there because they're like, ooh, let's do, strawberry rhubarb. Let's do pumpkin butter. So,
and this is still just him and his wife doing it. Okay.
Carl and Sue. They had, at that point, when they started making the preserves, they had a bigger garage. They had to, have a bigger production, bigger kettles, but it was just one barn. Okay, we're making more. Let's add another barn. Right. So it's just like a succession of barns next to their house.
That's how Mae's greenhouse was, that they started with one greenhouse and then they just kept going till like 11 or something. Yeah. So let's back up. And do you know what apple butter is? You do, Karan.
I would like to think I would.
Okay.
I mean, it's, and
how do you describe it? If we've got someone say they're listening in, I don't know, Los Angeles. I say, I'm a California girl. We probably didn't know what apple butter was. How would you describe apple butter?
So all apple butter is apples cooked down to like a puree. Mm-hmm. You add sugar and cinnamon or
not.
Because I was going to say, to me, when you I've never had it, but in my mind, it's going to have cinnamon in it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
See, in my mind, it would have butter in it.
Well, this little boy asked me at a trade show a couple years ago, is it dairy?
Yeah.
And I said, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
That's probably confusing.
Right, exactly, because you just sort of wonder what it is. So it's, but it's not applesauce. It's cooked down even more.
Right.
I think that's the big difference, because I think, apples cooked down as applesauce, but no, you keep going.
Yeah.
I think applesauce you cook with more water, so it's a little
could
lighter.
Be too. Yeah. So it's very spreadable. Mm-hmm. It is a jam-like consistency, but it's real smooth.
So now I haven't had lunch yet.
Oh,
I know we're recording this late in the day.
We have some samples. We couldn't bring them in right now because it would have, so we'll have to talk fast and get to the break, and then we can. And you also have a no sugar added apple butter, which I'm excited about because I try to avoid the sugars when I can.
And I brought it with me. It's
wonderful.
One of my favorites.
I have some at house. I like to just, if you just want a little something sweet after dinner, I don't know why it's a bad habit, but you want something a little bit sweet. Mm-hmm. I have just dip my spoon in some peanut butter and then in some apple butter.
Yeah, I always have that same, I want something sweet, but I don't have that as my go-to.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah.
Mine are M&Mms, but no, I find, because they're right there. You get in my house, they're just there.
They're right there.
So I need to switch that out.
So, so how were they always running out of the same location? If you don't know, if you haven't driven, Dillman Farm is located now on State Road 45. on the west side if you were like on your way to Greene County. Have they always been located there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that's the garage it started, and
wow.
then the barns. But we'll talk about the fires.
The tornadoes, all that good stuff. Exactly.
But yeah.
So how many different products do you now make over the past 50 years or so, plus years? About
125 to 128.
Different products?
Yeah.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
It's a lot.
Wow. Are some of them seasonal? So they're not available all the time?
Yes. We made that decision this year, actually, to do a lot of our, loved items, but not as fast selling, seasonal, because the demand has grown for our top sellers, and, we want to be able to...
If someone needs apple butter, you want to be able to give them apple butter. Yes. You don't want to be like, sorry, all we have is this crazy jalapeno whatever over here.
This is the time.
Yeah.
For
for sure.
Butter and pumpkin butter.
And where do you get all of your produce?
So it's from all over. A lot of the apples come from Michigan, blueberries, Michigan. We get some stuff from Washington, some cherries. But all over, there's a lot of vendors who have family farms that have been our vendors forever. So just all over, because with fruit, it doesn't grow in Indiana.
Right.
It's not the right environment. So all over the place. You do have
to branch out. One of the things I saw on your website or maybe it was on Facebook, that I kind of liked, and it didn't directly deal with Dillman Farm, but it talked about ugly fruit. It was, I think it was a reference to another website about ugly fruit. And I was like, well, that's a really interesting point that you don't think about, that there is ugly fruit out there that you can't sell at the grocery store because it looks ugly, and people are like, you're not going to pick the ugly banana, are you?
I'm not, but I do that with my blueberries.
You pick the ugly blueberries?
No, as I'm going through my blueberries, I'm like, I don't like that one. It's
right. Yeah. So this is,
silly.
I think...
We use ugly fruit.
So I love that. I don't know if you would use that as a tagline, if that would be a good seller.
But it is one of the things that we like to tell people, because there is so much waste.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of waste with produce, unfortunately.
Yeah. So produce. And in addition to, doing good for the environment by using the ugly fruit, you always use glass jars that I assume are recyclable.
Yes.
And iconic, I think. There are probably people, I could probably walk into houses for sale and open up cabinets, kitchen cabinets, and see the jars.
Yeah.
And I think I've even have I seen some like little craft ideas and things like that you can do with the jars?
Doing that, having a lot of fun with teaching people what are fun ways to do with the jars.
Yeah.
I went to the recycling center in Bloomington, and I ran into this lady, and she spilled her box, and it was just all Dillman jars, and I was just...
Yeah.
I was like, thank you so much.
Right. So was she recycling them, or was she putting them out for other people to pick up?
She was recycling them.
Okay. Yeah. So they can be recycled. So that's really important. And then also everything that you make is gluten-free, kosher, and vegan as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So super, super sustainable.
And all natural.
And all natural.
So.
There was a lot of talk. I don't know if you can talk at all about corn syrup and why it's bad.
Mm-hmm. So... The interesting thing, there's corn syrup and there's high fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
And corn syrup is a filler, essentially. It makes the product not as concentrated, and it makes it cheaper. That's why a lot of packaged goods, corn syrup will be the first ingredient. And then high fructose corn syrup is the sweetener that they use. It's very cheap. If you notice high fructose corn syrup as a sweetener, you don't have to say sugar necessarily. So a lot of items that are low sugar, they're using high fructose corn syrup or artificial sweeteners. And then a lot of times when you see the term sugar, it's from beet sugar, which is cheaper.
Okay.
And
but
so
it's still sugar.
Pure cane sugar is just a more natural state of sugar.
So it's better for you, I guess. And
it's just, if you're going to eat sugar,
right, you might as well do the good stuff.
Do the purest
form for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that brings a lot of people to your products, because we do like, I think especially in Bloomington, we like our good food.
Well, there's a lot more people reading labels and wanting to know like what's going into that product.
Yeah.
especially for allergies and, like you mentioned, like gluten-free and things like that.
Right. So, and another thing that's on your website that I really liked was recipes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you guys have been doing for a long time or have just sort of started recently.
We had, in the past, been doing them, but I just realized how important it is to teach people that, hey, there's a lot of fun stuff to do with some of these products that you wouldn't think of. Like today, my intern, he made salad dressing out of pumpkin butter.
Interesting.
And it was awesome.
Huh. So like some oil and vinegar and then the pumpkin butter.
Yeah, he did pumpkin butter, apple cider vinegar, and just a little bit of olive oil. Mm-hmm. It was so good. I was like, I would have never thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that even with the apple butter, like, for a fall salad with some walnuts and
I'm going to try the apple butter first. And
yes.
then I'm going to say yes.
So Karen's saying we need to take a break now so that we can fill her belly.
Sure.
So we're going to do that break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to tell you, we're going to try some of these foods, and I'm sorry that you're not there, but we'll and ah, just like they do on TV. And and then we're also going to go through, I think, some more of the products and the best ways to get the products and that kind of thing. So stick around. You are at home in Bloomington.
Hi, this is Karen Rastel with Ruoff Home Mortgage. Did you know there are low or no down payment options available? If you're interested in buying a home but not sure about your options, contact me today at 812-606-7653. Together, we'll make your dreams of home ownership come true. Ruoff Home Mortgage is an Indiana corporation licensed by the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions. This is not an offer for extension of credit or a commitment to lend. All loans must satisfy company underwriting guidelines, equal housing lender, NMLS number 141868.
This is your Real Estate Real List. Practical advice on buying and selling real estate based on my experience closing over 800 home sales. Today's list is the top 3 things you should know if you are a buyer in a seller's market. There are actually lots of mathematical ways that we realtors determine that we are in a seller's market, but the gist of it is that there are fewer homes for sale than there are buyers. This creates a pretty stressful and frenzied market for buyers as there are multiple people competing for the same home. So what can you do to have better success in this market? Number 1, have all your ducks in a row. Before you even start looking at homes online or otherwise, figure out your financing situation. Get pre-qualified, know where your down payment is coming from. Get all of that ready to go because in a seller's market, sellers don't want to waste time on a buyer who can't show them that they are financially ready and able. Number 2, think creatively. We all know to make out our list of wants and needs, right? But can some of your absolute needs be met creatively in other ways? For example, I had a client who needed to be in a certain school district. There just weren't very many options for them in that school district, and they were kind of in a time crunch because they were moving from out of state. After making some phone calls, they discovered that they had some other options in terms of schools that would work well for them. And this opened up lots of new neighborhoods for them to consider, and a home was quickly found. Other creative strategies? Well, there are creative options for financing, timing, minor remodeling, all things that can open up other home options for a buyer in a seller's market. So call upon your team, your realtor, and your lender to help you think outside the box. And number 3, work with a realtor who is full-time and obsessed. Don't try to go it alone or with someone who isn't all in. You need someone who is on top of new listings, new strategies, readily accessible and responsive. It's the only way to have a shot in this market where every second counts. For more information on being a buyer in a seller's market, listen to my Real Estate Today podcast, shows number 89 and 90. You can find that on iTunes and YouTube.
My name is Brittany, and Deb Tomorrow is my realtor. She helped me buy my first home. I enjoyed working with Deb because she was patient, thorough, and made the experience fun. Deb should be your realtor too. And now, back to the show.
Hey, welcome back to At Home in Bloomington. I'm your host, Realtor Deb Tomorrow. We are joined today with our sponsor, Ms. Karen Rastel, Ruoff Home Mortgage, and Megan Dillman of Dillman Farm. And I had to fight to end break and go back to recording because she brought in this amazing display of all these different products, and we were starting to bust them open and just eat mustard by the spoonful. So we're going to do that in a second. I do want to do a quick throwback to episode 32 of At Home in Bloomington, which was May's Greenhouse. And the reason that I wanted to kind of connect that show with this show, I think they carry some of your products
Yes, they
at
do.
May's Greenhouse, so that's a great place to go and get Dillman Farm. But they also have survived some challenging disasters,
Yes.
much like you all, and they're a long-standing family business. There's just a lot of similarities, and I want to kind of salute these heroes of our local economy. It's the things that make Bloomington great. So check out that episode 32 of May's Greenhouse when you get a chance. All right, so, oh my gosh, what did you bring us?
So I brought you, of course, the staples: apple butter and organic, no sugar added apple butter, and pumpkin butter. It's almost fall. It's like that time.
Are you a pumpkin person, Karan? Are you like the whole, like Starbucks comes out with the pumpkin latte, whatever?
No, I'm not a Starbucks person,
Well-
but I don't understand all the pumpkin craze. Like,
Okay.
Well, we were doing it before it was cool.
Okay.
there you go.
Yes.
So what would you do with tell us, we didn't talk about that, did we? See, here's my problem. Can I get off on a tangent for a second?
Yeah,
We
well, I
have such
can
good
read your
breaks.
thoughts, though.
When we do breaks, we always get into such good conversations, and I think, save it for the show. So now I don't remember if we talked about the pumpkin butter salad dressing over break or on air. Did we talk about it in the last segment?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So pumpkin butter.
Yes, we
See? Jeez, man.
Which that will be on our website shortly.
So looking at this, yeah, that's one of the things that my head is going to is like you can take pumpkin butter or apple butter or these mustards and make amazing salad dressings out of them that have so much personality.
Yeah.
See, for someone like me that isn't creative, and I know I was saying that off the air,
Mhm.
I would need just what Megan said is I'd have to go to the website to say, oh, there's the idea. Like I would need those like step-by-step instructions because I was sitting here during break saying, well, what would I use this on? The smoky,
Chipotle mustard.
yeah, and
Oh my gosh, I'm in love with
it's
this.
super good. Yeah,
Holy cow. So, can we make fun of you and your mustard phobia?
go right ahead. It's not a phobia. I just yellow mustard.
I think that's a phobia. I think
Just-
anyone who's afraid of yellow mustard has a phobia. I think
No, it just looks and
you need an
smells
excuse for therapy.
gross.
Okay, Karen doesn't like yellow mustard, though she's never tried it.
I never tried it.
So
I am being judgmental.
So we did
I don't like the way it looks.
There you go. So we held her down and forced some smoky Chipotle mustard from Dillman Farm in her mouth, and she said,
It's super good.
"Super good,
Super good.
She goes, "It smells like bacon
Yeah.
because it's smoky." So
Yes.
is that from a liquid smoke?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We use canned smoke.
And I think I can pronounce everything in the ingredient list.
Yay.
So that's awesome. And so yeah, we were talking about like, well, what would you do with this? Now, what do you want to do with it?
Well, Rachel gave me a great idea, like dip chicken tenders in it,
Yeah.
But see, I'm like that simple. Like I would be like, oh, would I put this on a sandwich? I don't know.
But
like,
you know what? Most people are. And so it's my job to teach people, okay, what else can you do with this? Because, having a jar of jam or preserves in your fridge, the reason a lot of people don't buy it, because they're like, well, what will I do with this whole
Right.
jar? I'm not going to eat toast every day. And I'm like,
Right.
no. Let me tell you what you can do.
So tell us some of the other ideas that you have.
So with preserves, a lot of people make cupcakes and, put a dollop of preserves
Yeah.
in them. It's delicious. I am a big proponent of cheese boards.
Okay.
I make a lot of them. So I brought these frog preserves.
And what is that? Because I saw that in real estate, frog stands for your fourth room over the garage.
Yeah. And
And I was like, what?
in food, it's usually like crushed up frogs, but this is not. It
Okay.
is fig, raspberry, orange, and ginger. It is amazing.
We're taking
The
lids off and
taste
smelling.
and texture is one of my favorites.
I could-
You bake a brie or
Oh,
a
yeah.
hard cheese with that.
But you know what I would do? I would mix some soy sauce in it and glaze some chicken breasts.
Oh, actually, one of our employees, he does a stir fry with the frog preserves.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's got with the ginger, it gives you that little Asian
Yeah,
kind of
I
flavor.
absolutely love it.
Oranges, red raspberries, figs, and ginger.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Frog. I love it.
I think I would just eat it out of the jar.
Wait a minute. I have to try it. Interesting. You can taste it.
Mm-hmm.
We should have done a blind taste test. Tell us
Yeah.
what's in this, right?
Would have been like, I have
We
no
do
idea.
those a lot, actually.
Yeah. Do you have to do like tastings,
Yeah, so
like quality control?
with product development, we do blind taste tests against other brands to see, truly, do you like ours better? And
How do we get on the list for that?
I was sign me up for blind taste test.
We've done so many of them. I think people are sick of them.
Right.
Every time, like, all right, get in the break room.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked for years. He worked for this company, and when you think about it, it sounds horrible. It was like a flavoring company, so they would make the grape flavor to go in a grape soda or whatever, and you could just giant barrels of probably every chemical, and they would have to, as part, he was like CFO, but as part of their quote unquote corporate responsibility, they would have to go do tastings. And so an email would go out during the day, like, we need 5 people to come down and do a tasting or whatever. And you would go and you'd sit in this cubicle, and this board would slide up, and this thing would come out with like 3 little cups. And you couldn't see the person or anything, and you had to, taste and answer some questions, and you go back and do your work.
I would do that.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, I would do that.
I would feel better doing that with something that's all natural and than something that is being made in big barrels.
So the items that you've brought today, are these ones that you have like all year round? Because I know you mentioned that there are some that are seasonal.
Yes. So we use the term power skew, which is just our hot items, and these are some of those items.
Okay. Of your 125 or so items that you sell.
So
let's talk about how people can find these items, because they've got lots of options now. Let's back up, because you used to have a showroom.
Yes, we did. And we closed it about over 3 years ago, just right before I started working at Dillman. And it was because we had so much demand for wholesale, we couldn't keep up. So we had to make a decision on what to focus on.
Gotcha.
And we get a lot of people who stop by and, we used to have a store. This looks so different. And we're like, oh, we're sorry. And we direct them down the road to the various places that carry us.
Yeah. So Kroger, all the Krogers, I'm assuming probably all the Lucky's, Blooming Foods, that kind of place.
Yes. Lucky's, Blooming Foods, Rural King, Fresh Time.
Yep.
Simply Primitive in town, which is just down the road from us.
My neighbor makes furniture for them. Just going to shout out to my neighbor Reed.
Meg's Greenhouse. I'm trying to think about all the other. There's so many places.
Do you have them at like the visitor center, or I was trying to think of someplace in town.
I do
like
think
a little
the
boutique or something.
Visitor center carries some of our products.
Okay.
But the hard thing is people have products that they really love.
Right.
And what we tell them is Rural King and Simply Primitive have probably the biggest selection of different items.
Yeah.
Whereas Kroger has more of our focus.
Yeah.
And
I know I was at Kroger the other day looking, and I found the organic, no sugar added apple butter. And there may have been one other thing, but I didn't see much. I was looking to see if they have pickles, because you do pickles too.
Yes, we do pickles.
And I didn't see the pickles, and I looked for something else too. So,
which we carry the pickles at Rural King and Simply Primitive. And I'm so sorry to anyone out there who I'm not mentioning.
Yeah, no, we'll make sure that people know. I mean, the website, you've got store locator, I think.
Yes, we have a store locator, and you can always call and say, hey, where can I find this? Right. Or we tell people, order online. And in Bloomington, you can do the store pickup.
Oh, nice.
So you could buy a case.
Okay.
And it can be a mixed case of things, and then do a...
And just swing by and pick it up.
Yep.
Nice. So your website is?
DillmanFarm.com.
Easy enough. Dillmanfarm.com.
No S.
Right. I know. I kept thinking, I'm going to say the S, because I'm sure you get that all the time. Yeah. It's just one farm. It's just a big farm. And you're also selling on Amazon.
Yes, we are.
Is that relatively new?
Okay. It is new, and we are really excited about that. We're trying to get all the items on there so that you can buy
anything.
6 packs. Yeah. But right now we have about 6 different variety packs. There's butters, preserves, mustard, salsa, and I'm sorry if I'm missing one. Oh, there's 2 types of preserves. There's like the berry one, and then there's refreshing, which is more of like the citrus and type of item. So,
do you have to buy a case at a time, or are they like multi-packs that you buy on Amazon?
So on Amazon, it's packs of 6.
Okay.
And that's the best value for consumers, so that's what we're going to keep doing. On our website, it's always buy 5, get the 6th free.
Okay.
So that's always going on our website.
Okay, so the website sounds like it might be the better deal out there.
Amazon is probably going to be the best once we get the rest of the items on there, because they do this for a living. They ship out. So we're really excited about this opportunity.
That's awesome. Are you in any shops outside of Bloomington? I assume you're in Nashville. You've got to have product in Nashville.
We're actually in 40 some Krogers.
Oh, wow.
We're in 19 Rural Kings.
Okay.
I think it's something like 14 Fresh Times. And that's when you go to the store locator, you can find the Indy area is been a big spot for us. And we're just trying to keep expanding into the bigger retail.
Yeah, that's amazing. I always get overwhelmed when I think about businesses like yours and how do you grow and how do you get into that Kroger and how do you make that first. We used to like to watch Shark Tank and they always talk about how you get into the the big companies, because I just think, my gosh, that's you get into the first one and it can grow from there.
I give the credit to Carrie. Carrie Dillman.
Yeah.
He has just worked
it. Yeah.
So
what's the future? What's the vision? Where do you see things going?
Wow, that's a good question. So we just hope to keep growing the brand. We want people to know about the product because we believe in it. We believe in this more sustainable type of product. Plastic is such a huge problem, and recycling, it's becoming that you don't even know if our things are getting recycled or not. Yeah. So we need to use more sustainable types of packaging in general. So our future, we want to grow the Dillman Farm name up, and we want people to know us and use our products because we believe in what we're doing.
Yeah. I did want to touch on, I know it was break that we talked about this. I know it was. That you all got hit by the tornado in 2011. If anyone was around in Bloomington in 2011, there was a big tornado that ripped through the west side. It took out a big mobile home park and a lot of buildings on there and made a beeline straight for Dillman Farm.
Yes. So what's so interesting about it is going back to the 80s when there's all these barns that are Dillman Farm. I don't even know how many. We had a kettle that fell against a wall. It was 1991, so I was, a baby, didn't know the Dillmans, but my husband was a baby, and burnt down a couple of the buildings.
Oh, wow.
And so they decided, okay, let's build it up so it's bigger. So in 2011,
so 20 years later,
when that tornado hit, they were, stuck with a decision. Okay, Carrie was basically like, I can try and liquidate, or we can
go for
build it up bigger. And it was actually one of Obama's, it was like one of his
initiatives
grants or initiatives to help small businesses that have been affected. And it actually helped them build up the facility bigger. And Carrie just took a leap of faith.
Wow.
Like, I am not producing at capacity.
I know, me too. Karan and I are both like, goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm not producing at capacity, but I believe that one day I will. And he just took a leap of faith and built the building up to where it is now, which is why we can handle so much because he was just like, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, that clearly runs in the family.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's really what I wanted this show to be about, beyond the unbelievably good mustard that I want to just shovel in my face, is that, when you come up against something, you hit a wall, you think this is the worst possible thing that could happen, and to turn that around and turn it into something that's even bigger and better. It's almost like, they do it in forests all the time. You have to burn down the forest to kind of get that regrowth, to make it even stronger. It's how you build muscle. You tear down your muscle and then it heals, and when it heals, it's stronger. So that was really, what I was wanting to get out of today's episode. So that is awesome. All right, we've got just a couple minutes left, so I want to know one or two other great ideas of unexpected things that you could do with your products.
Okay, so this organic, no sugar added apple butter, this is on our website. It is one of my favorite things. If you take like sub bread or sourdough, and put brie on it, and then ham with this organic apple butter. Yeah. Something about the tartness of the no sugar added apple butter, it is so good. It's one of the best things, I think.
I've been dreaming about like a grilled cheese sandwich with some apple butter on it. Like think about this. Oh, like a little Gruyere, a little bacon, a little apple butter.
Perfect.
Grilled up on a little sourdough or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you can make me one.
Okay.
We can test that in our test kitchen
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay, our next Facebook Live, we'll do that.
Well, there you go. And then I'm a big cheesecake lover. So
we just made cheesecake last week.
Yeah, take your favorite preserve and swirl it into a cheesecake. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's a great idea, especially with blackberry. It would be really good on that too. And don't forget, because I feel like pickles. You've got different flavors of pickles.
We do have pickles.
And then you've got 4 pasta sauces now?
Yes, pasta sauces are new. We're really excited. We're trying really hard to get them into some of the bigger retailers, but they are at Simply Primitive currently and the Brown County IGA.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So those are the 2 places, but they're going to be everywhere soon.
And I think that I was reading on the pasta sauces. I mean, it's just vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's just not a lot of that. Probably not a ton of sugar added or anything like that.
No, and Carrie came up with those recipes. He worked really hard over the winter.
Yeah.
Roasted red pepper, tomato and basil, marinara, and spicy marinara.
Oh, nice.
And spicy marinara, let me tell you, is so good.
Wow.
I had no idea that a flavor like that existed.
Yeah.
And it's my absolute favorite.
That sounds good too.
Yeah.
And all vegan, kosher, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to end the show because we got some eating to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited now. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, I think you've inspired and, spoke a little bit to good Midwestern people, as we like to say, just working hard and making the best of whatever situation and having success. So I want to encourage everyone to, order online, and then that could be your excuse to go drop by and pick up your product if you haven't been over to that location. But these are awesome gifts. You could buy the 6-pack, and they're usually between $5 and $6 a piece.
They're usually $4.99.
Yeah, so I mean they're reasonably priced. We're not talking $20. As Rachel would call them, estate jams. When Rachel makes jams, she calls it estate jams because it makes it sound fancy. I'm like, what does estate mean? She's like, it just makes it sound fancy. So these are not Rachel's estate jams. These are awesome products. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, and we will be back with another episode of At Home in Bloomington. Thanks for listening.
Got a show idea? I'd love to hear it. And be sure to contact me for all your real estate needs and questions too. You can email me at deb@realrealestatetoday.com and follow me on Facebook at Deb Tomorrow Realtor. To contact Karan Rastel for all your mortgage needs, call 812-606-7653 or log on to ruoff.com and go to the Bloomington Center. Thanks to all the Bloomington people who make production of At Home in Bloomington possible. Special thanks to superstar producer Rachel G. Gregorio, digital guru Cynthia Hogan at Monster Digital Marketing for website design and hosting, and video genius Wes Lasher in the production house for engineering the show.